Welcome, everybody, to the Lipseys Aim Higher podcast. Across from me is Jason Klossner. Jason, what's going on?
Hey, man, we thawed out from the deep freeze last week, so I'm glad to be here.
It was cold. It was, hey, to our Texas friends, we were feeling for you. Louisiana wasn't a whole heck of a lot better. It was bad news out there. Yeah, much better this week. We're back up into our normal winter of 75, which I love. So, we've got a really, really cool and special show today. We've got Boge Quinn coming up here in just a second, and we've done a really awesome exclusive. I mean, it's kind of above and beyond anything we've done before, and we're going to get into it. Boge is with Gunblast.com, brother of the late Jeff Quinn, who many of you know about, and we're going to talk about that and get into that in just a second. So we're also going to do our giveaway. We had our swag giveaway in episode 1, and we had a winner. So we're going to announce who that is a little bit later and award him fabulous cash and prizes. Actually, no cash, just a few prizes, but we'll get to that too. So, and then looking forward to next week, we've got Javelin coming in from Christensen Arms. That's going to be really cool. So we're going to talk Christensen, we've got, I think, a new exclusive. Yes. Hopefully
working on some.
Okay.
Yeah.
So something in the works. And of course, we've done exclusives with them before. And I'm looking forward to chatting with him a little bit, maybe on what's new in the Christensen world. So we've got that coming up next week. So without further ado, we'll get into today. And I think he's on the line. Boge, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right. We've got Boge Quinn on the line again from Gunblast.com. And Boge, let me start by saying, I know it's been just a little bit of time, since Jeff passed, but again, from our Lipseys family to yours, of course, our condolences. I know he was just a beloved man by family, friends, a huge following that you guys have, and industry people all over the place. And
well, yeah, I really appreciate that, Rob. People love Jeff just all over the world, and it's been such an outpouring of affection and remembrance and love for Jeff ever since he passed away that, of course, I knew how people felt about him because I'd be with him on all the trips, and hundreds and hundreds of people be coming up to him looking to shake his hand or something. But, these people have been just really good about all this, really supportive of us.
That's so good to hear.
I mean, we're really seeing it with the reception to this latest edition that we did.
Yeah, I can't wait to get into this. Can't wait to get into it. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Jeff and this new exclusive we have. But at first, I want to talk a little bit about Boge Quinn and Gunblast and what's going on. And I guess maybe a better place to start would be covering a little history of Gunblast. You guys go back to a ways. I don't know. Was YouTube invented when you started? Was that the first? Was that the first videos? We're working on what, 21 years here?
Yeah, we're getting close to 21 years. I'm not sure when YouTube started. We weren't on them for a long time. I think we started doing like little maybe 30-second videos on YouTube probably about I don't know, maybe 2008 or something like that. And it would basically just be Jeff would shoot a gun and say, go look at our review on gunblast.com, because at the time, some people actually still did this thing called reading.
Right.
What is that?
Yeah. If it's more than 3 bullet points now, they're not reading it.
So we really got full bore on YouTube in about 2008, and it's been no holds barred ever since, and it's kind of fun if you want to go back and look at some of our early videos. The production wasn't so good on them because I was still learning my way around.
Oh yeah.
Jeff couldn't hardly string 2 words together intelligibly at the time.
Yeah.
It really come a long way.
Well,
we started basically, I think about September of '99. Jeff had the idea of starting Gunblast because he got tired of looking at the paper gun magazines where you'd see a glowing review of some gun that is a piece of junk, and right across the page is a full-page ads for it,
Right.
So he kind of got frustrated with all that, and he asked me in September of '99, he said, if I could start writing some articles, you think you could put them on that internet thing they're all talking about?
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, I guess I could do that, because I'd never done anything online, but I've been working in computers for, years and years and years, doing engineering and that sort of thing. So
right.
Yeah, we'll be able to pull that off. So we started first of 2000.
Jason and I were chatting the other day, and you've been kind of the man behind the camera and behind the screen, I guess, for a long time. With you've run the website, you've done the filming, and that's been your role forever. And now you've kind of stepped. You're the new front man here. So how's that transition been? How I know you've done it for a while now too, and it's not necessarily a brand new thing for you, but now that you're really full time. And by the way, you're cranking videos out. I was looking at the website, and it's like what are you doing, one a day? I mean, it's how do you get into guns? By the way,
yeah, I know, where are these guns coming from? I need to get your source there, Boge.
But how was that transition, Boge? Kind of moving into this full-time on-camera role.
Well, I'm getting my feet under me. It's been a learning curve. I started out, I would do a video every now and then while Jeff was still alive, but
right.
I think the second to the last time I talked to Jeff, he told me, he said, "Boge, do whatever you got to do to keep it going." So I've kind of took that as an inspiration, and I'm just basically doing my job and his now, Bo. So it's a lot of work, but
right.
I'm getting me a system down, and it's becoming a little bit easier as I go.
Well, I'm glad. I know people are embracing it too, which is fantastic. I'm really glad to see. I knew you guys weren't going to stop. I've talked to Greg before, and he's like, "Oh, we're full bore ahead." So I'm glad to see that.
Honestly, I've been a little bit surprised at how well I've been received as stepping into Jeff's role, because I figured people would be like, who's this fat guy think he is? He ain't no Jeff Quinn, but people have been real supportive of me, and I really appreciate that.
The tone of the show is still, you didn't skip a beat. That calm, knowledgeable, warm, down home feel, right. The rocking chair that Jeff loved, the swing,
no pyrotechnics and everything else like a lot of these guys do now. So
yeah.
We decided we wouldn't do that early on just because we was a couple of easygoing guys, and we didn't want to have a bunch of thrash metal as theme music and things like that. So I just played the kind of thing I play, and
right.
It's sort of established a little bit of a difference between us and some of the other guys, and I guess we were just kind of lucky in that regard.
That's great. I will. Let's get into this exclusive a little bit. There's a lot of moving parts here. It's far beyond just a revolver, and I guess I'll turn it over to Jason here and kind of let him sort of chime in on the conversations, the triangle between you guys, between Ruger, and how this all came to pass.
Sure. Well, Jeff passed away in July of 2020, and and we were devastated. I've been friends with Jeff since 1999. Is when I met him at the Atlanta SHOT Show. It was actually before Gunblast. I always like to kid around that I knew Jeff Quinn before he was Jeff Quinn. So, but and he came back the next year to our booth at 2000 and said, "Hey, I'm starting this online gun review thing. What do you think about that?" And I was like, "Man, that sounds really cool. It's better than the paper magazines that you have to wait months for and everything else." So it was a really novel idea, and I'm glad that Ruger and Lipseys were two of the first companies to really get on board with Gunblast. And I think
you guys have always been great with us.
Well, it's always been a great resource for us to get the word out on our exclusives, that we knew we'd get a good, honest review, and Jeff was always very, excited to know what was coming next. And so, it was one of those things where Mark Gurney at Ruger had reached out and said, "Look, we want to do something, and we wanted to do something, but we didn't know how about to do it." And we kind of kicked it around, and Greg and Boge had input on it as well. And it was one of those things where, we wanted to do something that Jeff would like, something that he would have used himself. Something not gaudy, something that was practical, because Jeff was practical, especially when it came to guns. And we also wanted to do something that would honor his memory. And none of us, Ruger nor Lipseys, wanted to profit off of this at all. And so by tying in Jeff's favorite charity, the Bikers Who Care, with this was when we figured out we could do that, it was a green light for us at that point.
Yeah, I just read that. It was really, really worked out great. And another thing, that we had talked about briefly was maybe having some more engraving or something put on the barrel or something like that. But we decided pretty quick that in short order, you would have the gun priced out of everybody's range if you started doing all that sort of stuff. So, we kept it relatively simple, the special grips, the special serial numbers, the special polish on it and that kind of stuff. It really made a classy looking, it's just really a neat tribute to Jeff. He would have loved to have had one of those guns himself.
I was going to ask you, Boge, if you had the ability to hand him that closed case with that gun in it right now, what do you think his first words or expression would be? Just curious.
I don't think he'd be able to talk much for a little bit, but he'd sure have a big old grin on his face.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
He would have loved it. He loved revolvers. He loved 44 Special.
Yep.
He loved Ruger, and he loved Lipseys. He would have been glad to have it all tied together on that.
Well, and we did that 44 Special GP100, that 5-inch blued gun. He reviewed that gun, I don't know, a couple years ago when we came out with it. And he told me, he said, man, this gun would be perfect in a 4-inch gun. And I remembered that when we were trying to figure out what to do. Ruger, obviously they were trying to figure out something they could do in a time we were still, remember back in, we started talking about this in August, and in August a lot of things were still shut down. Ruger's factories were still, they had shifts coming in and workforces were low, and so certain lines were open and certain ones weren't, and the GP100 line was one that we had an opportunity on, and I know Jeff loved the GP100. I mean, he talked about him a lot, and he was a big fan of the Security 6 back in the days and everything else. So it was when he said that we could do that, I said, all right, I know what we need to do now. I said he told me what he would want, and that was a 4-inch 44 Special. And then Ruger, when they had the idea of doing the grips, and one of their guys in their art department came up with the little Jeff caricature kind of deal with the braids.
Yeah, that really turned out
and
good.
Man, it just when they sent me that picture, I was like, oh, that's it.
That turned out great.
Yeah, I was the same way, man. They sent me that, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's perfect.
The signature, everything is like spot on.
Yeah, so it just it all tied together. It wasn't a big gold flashed gaudy gun that Jeff wouldn't have liked. So
yeah, that's right.
I'm really happy how it turned out. I feel like if this gun would have just been a regular old Lipseys exclusive, it's one that he probably would have sent us a check for. So.
Yeah, he absolutely would have.
Yep.
He might have bought the lot. Who knows? Who knows? And for everyone listening, we've got one sitting here out in front of us, in front of the camera. But Jason, you can kind of run through it real quick, just for if you haven't seen it. And you can't. Jason did a really nice short video on it on LipseysGuns.com as well, which you can also check out when you have time. But
and Boge did a great review on Gunblast as well.
Yeah, we've got lots of options here. Yeah, but if you want to run through it real quick.
But it's a GP100. It's a 5-shot 44 Special. So it's a 5-shot cylinder. It's an unfluted cylinder. Ruger has all the 44 Specials they've done in the unfluted setup. They did kind of what they call a semi-gloss polish on it, so it's not what I consider a really super high sheen gloss, but it's kind of a upgrade from the standard bluing. It really, in my opinion, looks fantastic.
I think it looks great.
Yeah, it's really tasteful. They polished the hammer and the trigger on them, which the byproduct of that is it really makes for a nice slick action. On those guns, the ones that I've kind of messed around with, the trigger pulls are fantastic on them, and I think the one that you had, Boge, was super light.
I was amazed at the trigger pull on that thing, not just the weight of it, but the smoothness of it.
Yeah, I think polishing those parts really helped. Back when we did the Royal Phoenix way back whenever, we had them polish the hammer and the trigger, and that was the byproduct of those guns too.
Yeah, I had to have that gun.
I remember. Yeah, I remember. So then we obviously did the 4-inch barrel. It's actually technically a 4.2-inch, but it's got the half lug. So unlike the normal GP100 lug that has the full lug, it's a half lug. It takes a little bit of weight out of the front end of the gun, and in my opinion, looks a little more traditional. I prefer it.
Yeah, I do too.
We have adjustable sights.
Jeff would have too.
Oh yeah, no, he was a big fan of those half lug guns.
Yeah, he loved them.
The front sight has a gold bead insert on it, which I know Jeff also liked.
Yeah.
We were, on our exclusive gun, we had a special roper style grip that we used, and we tried to use that grip on this gun, but with the grip screws, it kind of messed up the way we could put the logo and the signature on there. And so Mark at Ruger got a set of the Hogues that they use on the Match Champion guns, and we took the checkering out, just kept them smooth, and put it on there because there's no grip screw on the side, it's on the bottom, and it worked out perfect. And honestly, I kind of like that grip better. It fits my hand really well. There's no finger grooves.
It fits my hand really well too. And I've got a big hand, and my wife, I let her handle that and shoot it a little bit. And she's got little bitty hands, and she said it felt great for her too.
Yeah.
So I feel like it'll probably work well for just about anybody's hand.
I think so. But you know, a good thing about a grip is that's the easiest thing on a revolver to change, and there's lots of options. Yeah. So you know, some people might want to leave that one in the box and then put a rubber grip on for shooting or carrying or whatever, and then keep that one. But whatever you want to do. But that's really the base. And then the serial numbers are special. They're JQ 001 through 500. They actually made a 000 as well, which we are going to do something really special with that, and we'll keep that out there. We'll talk about that in another episode. But there's going to be something really cool with that gun that'll come about. But in the box, there is a nice card that Boge signed. I actually wrote the verbiage for.
Yeah, that was great. That came out really well.
Yeah, when he suggested, that was Boge's idea, and I was like, man, absolutely. That ties it all together. Explains about the Bikers Who Care organization and a little bit about the project, and just gives a little bit of it just adds a little character to the whole project.
So, Boge, you can give bikerswhocare.org a little love too. That was something dear to Jeff, and that's where a lot of these a lot of the proceeds go to from this project. And maybe you can expand on that and talk about them for just a little bit, because I was on their website and reading a little bit, and what a great cause. I mean, helping disadvantaged or disabled children. I mean, that's as good as it gets, and that speaks a lot about who Jeff was too.
Bunch of guys.
Yeah. Are you still involved with them?
Yes, I am. I've been a member there of that since '06, and I've never owned a motorcycle in my life. I got in with those guys because Jeff introduced me to them, and I love the guys, and what they do is just so great. All the charity work and everything they do goes to children's charities, and there's no administrative costs or anything. Every dime they make, and they work all year long. Mm-hmm. Going to different children's charities, and they just do a lot of great work, and I was proud to be involved with them guys. So I've been a member of them since '06, and don't even ride a motorcycle. When they have their rides, I either go in my truck or don't go.
Well, I got to meet a bunch of those guys at Jeff's funeral.
Yeah.
And then also, once we announced this gun, a lot of them called, trying to find out where to get one and some details on it. So I've got to talk to quite a bit of them, and I tell you what, they are super excited about this and what this donation will go to and what good they're going to be able to do from it. So it just makes me even feel that much better about it. I mean, these guys they're motivated, man. They're going to make sure every bit of this donation gets used to its full potential, and they're excited about donating their time and efforts as well. So it just really puts a smile on your heart.
Another thing with that is that times have been like they've been for the past year. We haven't been able to have our usual fundraisers at our tour run party and our different runs and stuff like that to raise the money. We haven't had it. So all this money coming in from these guns is really going to make a huge difference to a lot of kids, because they're still needy whether there's a pandemic going on or not.
Yeah, that's a great point.
That's right. Yep. Well, we're really excited about it. It's something that I know Jeff would really be proud about and be happy about, and I think this is a gun and helping kids. What a better way to be honored for Jeff,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so, Jeff always loved the guys at Ruger, and he would be real proud that they stepped up for him to do this. And Jason's been one of our very closest friends for 20 years, and Jeff would have been very, very appreciative, Jason, of all you did on this.
Well, I that means a lot, and I mean, I tell you, Jeff is super. I mean, it's hard to even describe a relationship with Jeff, because he's just such a unique character. I mean, he feels like he's like your uncle. He's like your buddy. I mean, he just he always had something funny to say about any situation. He always lightened any mood of any kind of conversation out there, It's just going to be hard
to
hardly
catch him serious.
No, you couldn't. If you did, you knew it was really serious. So. But you know, we've had some other friends involved with this project too. Rob Leahy at Simply Rugged Holsters has been a friend of the Gunblast family and of us as well too over the years. Yeah. And why don't you tell everybody about Rob's involvement with this project, Boge?
Well, Rob, he wanted to get involved in this because he's also one of our very closest friends. He's a brother shootist with us, and he's just one of the nicest guys in the world. He don't like to talk about himself very often because he's real bashful and humble about stuff, but he probably gives away as many holsters as he sells to active duty military and first responders and stuff like that, and he does it all under the radar. It's just the kind of guy he is. He don't like to toot his own horn or anything.
He doesn't send a press release out when he does it.
Oh no, you never know about it, and he won't even like me talking about it. But he's a great guy, and he really loved Jeff, and Jeff really loved him. And Jeff was there with him from the very beginning when he started Simply Rugged. As a matter of fact, he chose the name of his company, Simply Rugged, from an article that Jeff did very early in Gunblast. He sent him a holster. I believe it was for a Smith & Wesson Model 25 mountain gun. And he said something about his holsters being simple and rugged. So Rob took that as the name of his company. And
nice.
Just kind of went on with it from there. He's always been a very good friend of ours. And he wanted to do something special also to tribute Jeff on his thing. So he came up with a couple of different models of his holsters that has Jeff's picture stamped on the front of them. And they just really turned out great.
Yeah, they did. And I believe he's donating portions of that to Bikers Who Care as well.
Yes, he is. And he actually also was offering them at a little bit discounted price. Plus, on top of that, he's giving proceeds from that to Bikers Who Care also. So he's working pretty cheap on these. But they're great holsters, and he sent me one of each style, and they really are great. I featured them in my video.
That's great.
And they really are nice.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'm wearing a Simply Rugged holster as we sit here today, but I've got a lot of Rob's leather, and it is tough to beat. I mean, it really is. It works. It's affordable. It'll last you a lifetime, and I'm pretty hard on, especially my field holsters. Down here in the summertime, man, you sweat on them. You can wear one down pretty quick, and his stuff just holds up. And if you're out there and you're looking for a quality leather holster that's made with pride in the United States, give Simply Rugged a call. They go to their website. You won't go wrong.
Yeah, we always recommend Simply Rugged because they're like you said, they're really tough. And Rob's a tough guy, and he started working in leather and developed his designs when he was in Alaska, and he was like all the time in the woods or out on the water or something like that. And he was always using his holsters hard and making them for what he used them for. So
that's right.
You ain't going to tear up his stuff, and you can get them just as pretty and as fancy as you want to, or just as plain as you want to.
That's right. Yeah, if you're getting one of these guns, you really need to get one of those holsters.
Oh, absolutely.
I can promise you that's what Jeff would be carrying his gun in. So.
Oh, he sure would.
This has been a great project. I'll tell you, I've been here for a little while, and to see just the way this worked out from all the parties, the team at Ruger, your family, of course, all the work that Jason put in on this too. I'm so glad to be part of it, I guess, in a way. I think it's great. I really do. I think this is like a home run project. It really is. It's what it's all about.
It really is, and it's not only is it just an incredible honor, but it's a great gun that they come up with.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that even if it didn't have anything to do with Jeff, I'd have to have one.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly. I mean, that's kind of was a thought process. It's like, well, hey, let's make something that we would all used anyways. So I'm really happy how it turned out, and I'm just in this. And credit to Ruger too. I mean, during this time when getting anything that's not a normal cataloged, regular production gun done, especially this gun, because they had to do a lot of things that's out of their norm. Polishing these guns at a higher level, getting a high polished blue, polishing the hammers and the triggers, getting those grips done, a new configuration. This is the first time they've ever made a GP100 44 special with a 4-inch barrel, so they haven't done that configuration before. So to do all these things that are not out of their normal run of activities during this time when gun demand is out of the roof and they can't catch up like anybody, for them to set everything aside and take the hit to do it and donate the proceeds that they would have made to this says a lot about Ruger and where their hearts and heads are at too.
It really is amazing. People don't realize either, that a lot of folks in the gun industry are just the nicest kind of folks you'd ever want to see.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of industries, the guys would just soon be making tennis shoes or hot dogs or whatever.
Right.
But the guys in the gun industry, a lot of them, and Ruger is certainly exemplary of this, they're just the nicest kind of people, and there's really a kind of a brotherhood to that.
It is. You get a good cause, they will go after it. Yep.
Absolutely.
Well, Boge, I'll tell you, I know we were just elated to do this project with you and with Ruger, and man, we loved having you on today. It's
really been great. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. It's good. I appreciate you taking a little bit of time out to do this, and let's get you a camera.
Well, I've been watching your podcast since they started. They're really nice.
Hey, you're our first official non-Lipseys guest too, by the way. So this is a milestone already.
Special, I guess.
We're breaking records.
You're the first real talent on this podcast. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We might have to get you to do some intro music for us one day. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Boge plays all the music on all the Gunblast videos. Yeah, so he's a heck of a musician.
That's really cool.
Oh heck.
Yeah, we'll get you to make us some intro music or something. But
I always say I'm just good enough to know how good I ain't.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, hey, Boge, a
lot of truth in it.
It's again, it's been great having you. I'm really, really happy to talk to you. And listen, best of luck with anything. We'll keep tabs with you. We'll talk again soon. And and you take care.
I really appreciate it, Rob, Jason.
Thank you, Boge.
Take it easy.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, that was great.
Boge is a great guy.
What a good dude.
I mean, I've never been around Boge where he didn't have a smile on his face and just a jovial spirit. I mean, he's a great guy.
Like I said, that whole feel and vibe that Gunblast has, it just there was no even passing of the torch. It never went out. I mean, it's really
Boge
cool.
and I talked about it, and when he was, and I said, Boge, the good thing is you don't have to be Jeff. You can be Boge.
Yeah.
And because people love you. They just haven't had a chance to see you yet. And I think Gunblast has got some really good stuff coming up. So.
Absolutely. That was fun. That was fun. Good show, Jason. Now let's take care of a little business here. We're going to announce our winner, and from last 2 episodes ago, I guess, when we have our Lipseys swag we gave away, and our winner is Mr. Mike Davis out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Winner, chicken dinner. I don't know. That was stupid. Anyways, so the contest was just to write in a question to podcast@lipseys.com. And he had a cool question that we may turn into a show topic. He asked, he said, I'm new to hunting and a big Lipseys Exclusives fan. What would be a good exclusive rifle to start with? So we might have to break that down sometime in the future.
Yeah, I'll have to get with Mike on that one. See what he's looking for. But I tell you what, we do have a lot of good exclusive hunting options.
Yeah.
Whether you're a more traditional person and you like something like the Ruger number 1s or the 77 Africans that we do, or the internationals, or if you're more into the all-weather high-tech stuff like the Christensen Arms Ridge lines and some of those stuff, we do kind of do all in between. So I'm sure we'll have something we can hook Mike up with.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you, Mike. We'll get this out to you. And as always, you can contact us at podcast@lipseys.com with questions, thoughts, suggestions, and find us on the socials, and check us out on YouTube and lipseysguns.com. And until next time, gang, aim higher.